The morning light spreads across London in the year 1666, and the city awakens to the sound of church bells echoing from dozens of towers. The Thames flows beneath London Bridge, already busy with small boats carrying passengers and cargo. Smoke begins rising from thousands of chimneys as families light their cooking fires for the day. London Bridge is far more than just a way to cross the river. It is actually a street built on top of the water, lined with shops and houses rising 3 or 4 stories high on both sides. Merchants sell their goods from these shops while entire families live in the rooms above. Some Londoners cross this bridge every day without ever realizing they are walking over water. So completely do the buildings block the view. The bridge is the only way to cross the Thames without taking a boat, making it one of the busiest spots in the entire city. The river itself serves as London's greatest highway. Watermen row their small boats back and forth all day long, shouting offers to carry passengers from one landing to another. These boatmen are famous for their colorful language and quick wit, and they can navigate the Thames currents with remarkable skill. A ride across the river costs just a few pennies and is often faster than trying to push through the crowded streets above. Walking through London means entering a maze of narrow lanes and alleyways that twist and turn in patterns laid down centuries ago. Many streets are barely wide enough for 2 people to pass each other comfortably. The houses lean inward so dramatically that neighbors on upper floors could almost reach across and touch hands. The sky becomes just a thin strip of light above, and when it rains, the streets turn into rivers of mud. Here is something fascinating about London shops. Since many people cannot read, every shop displays a painted sign showing what they sell. A giant boot hangs outside the cobbler's door. 3 golden balls mark the pawnbroker. A striped red and white pole shows where the barber surgeon works, cutting hair and also treating wounds. Walking down any street means seeing dozens of these colorful signs swaying in the breeze. Cheapside stands as one of London's grandest market streets. Goldsmiths display gleaming jewelry and precious objects in their windows. Silk merchants show fabrics imported from far across the world. The Royal Exchange nearby buzzes with activity as merchants meet to strike deals and share news from foreign ports. London's position as a trading centre means that goods arrive here from everywhere. Spices from the East Indies, sugar from the Caribbean, wine from France, timber from the Baltic. Coffee houses represent something quite new in London. These establishments appeared only recently, offering a dark, bitter drink brought from the East. For just 1 penny, any man can enter, order a cup of coffee and join the conversation. Unlike taverns where ale flows freely, coffee houses provide a different kind of stimulation. Men gather to discuss business, share news, and debate ideas. Different coffee houses attract different crowds. Some draw merchants trading in specific goods, others appeal to writers and scholars, still others to those interested in the latest scientific discoveries. The variety of smells in London creates its own distinctive atmosphere. Wood smoke from cooking fires mingles with the scent of fresh bread from bakeries that start work before dawn. The Thames contributes its own earthy smell, especially at low tide when the muddy banks are exposed. Street vendors sell meat pies and other ready foods, adding their aromas to the mix. Every trade has its own smell too. The tanneries, the breweries, the rope makers all contribute to the city's unique character. Daily meals, for most Londoners, center around bread, which forms the foundation of every diet. The type of bread someone eats immediately shows their social standing. The wealthy enjoy fine white bread called manshit, while poorer folk make do with darker, coarser loaves. Many workers buy meat pies from street vendors for their midday meal, eating as they work, since they have no time to go home. Ale remains the common drink throughout the day, since well water often seems unsafe. Even children drink small beer, a weaker version that provides both nourishment and safety. Clothing tells everyone exactly where a person stands in society. The wealthy wear silk, velvet, and fine wool decorated with expensive lace and intricate embroidery. Silver buckles gleam on their shoes. Ladies of quality wear elaborate gowns with wide skirts, their bodies laced tight, their sleeves adorned with the finest lace money can buy. Tradesmen and their families dress in simpler fabrics and plainer cuts. Labourers wear sturdy wool and leather suited to hard work. Getting around London offers several choices depending on wealth and destination. The rich employ sedan chairs, enclosed seats carried on poles by two strong men who navigate the narrow streets with impressive skill. These chairs can go places that carriages cannot reach. Most people simply walk, and Londoners think nothing of crossing the entire city on foot during a day's business. The Thames offers the smoothest travel, with countless small boats ready to ferry passengers wherever they need to go. The guilds control every trade in London with strict rules about who can practice a craft and how. A young person wanting to become a goldsmith or a baker must first serve years as an apprentice, learning every secret of the trade under a master's watchful eye. The guilds maintain impressive halls throughout the city where members gather for meetings and feasts. These ancient organizations ensure quality work and fair dealing, though they also fiercely protect their members from outside competition. Time itself works differently than in later ages. Most people do not own clocks, which remain expensive luxury items found mainly in church towers and wealthy homes. Londoners judge the hour by the sun's position and by church bells that ring throughout the day. A meeting set for morning might happen any time between dawn and noon, and nobody finds this vague timing particularly troublesome. Entertainment takes many forms. Theatres in Suffolk present plays by various dramatists. Bear baiting and bull baiting draw crowds seeking excitement. The royal court, restored under King Charles II, sets fashions in dress and manners. The king himself sometimes walks in St. James's Park, a sight that would have been impossible during the stern Puritan years that recently ended. The Tower of London rises at the city's eastern edge, serving as fortress, palace, prison, and more. Its thick walls represent royal power. Here is something remarkable. The tower houses a menagerie where Londoners can see lions, bears, and other exotic creatures brought from distant lands. The crown jewels also rest within these walls, guarded carefully. After darkness falls, London becomes a different place. Those who must be out at night carry lanterns or hire link boys, young men who bear torches and light the way for a fee. Most houses use candles sparingly since they cost money. Streets grow dark and potentially dangerous once the sun sets. The watch makes rounds, but cannot be everywhere. Most honest folk prefer to be safely home before night fully descends. Waste disposal follows practices that seem normal to Londoners, though they would shock later generations. Chamber pots emptied from upper windows are common enough that smart pedestrians stay alert. Open channels run down the middle of many streets, carrying various refuse. The Thames receives whatever the streets cannot absorb. Rain helps wash things along. The smell is simply part of city life, barely noticed by those who live with it constantly. Here is an interesting detail about London Bridge again. The structure is so heavily built up with houses and shops that the water flowing beneath becomes quite turbulent. Shooting the bridge in a boat requires real skill, and some passengers prefer to get out and walk across rather than risk the dangerous passage underneath. Religious life shapes the rhythm of every week. The Church of England holds official status, and Sunday service attendance is expected. Dozens of parish churches serve local communities throughout the city. Old St. Paul's Cathedral dominates the skyline with its Gothic spire, a structure that has stood for centuries. Church bells create a constant soundtrack to city life, marking hours and calling people to worship. Medical practice combines old traditions with some new ideas. Barber surgeons handle wounds and perform minor surgery, their striped poles advertising this service. Apothecaries prepare medicines from herbs, following recipes passed down through generations. Physicians educated at universities diagnose ailments and prescribe treatments based on theories about bodily humors and balance. The city suffered terribly from plague just last year, and while normal life has returned, the memory remains fresh in everyone's mind. News and information travel through various channels. Those who can read might purchase printed news books that appear weekly with accounts of events both near and far. The government controls these publications strictly. Coffee houses serve as informal news centers where the latest rumors and reports circulate freely. Letter writing maintains connections across distances, though the postal system remains somewhat irregular. Seasonal changes still govern much of city life. Spring brings fresh produce to markets after winter's limited fare. Summer means longer working days and warmer weather that allows craftsmen to open their shutters wide. Autumn harvest festivals mark the agricultural calendar that matters even in this great city. Winter brings shorter days, colder houses, and the need for adequate fuel and food stores. The city contains remarkable contrasts. Grand houses of nobles stand near humble workshops. Wealthy merchants conduct business steps away from street vendors selling cheap pies. Every trade, every social level, every type of person crowds together within the ancient walls and spreads beyond them. The narrow streets pulse with activity. Apprentices run errands, merchants haggle over prices, housewives shop for dinner, watermen call for passengers, church bells ring, dogs bark, horses neigh. The sounds blend into the unique music of London life. London in 1666 thrives as one of Europe's great cities. Its population, recovered from last year's plague, grows again. Trade flourishes along the Thames and at the Royal Exchange. Craftsmen produce goods of remarkable quality. Culture and learning find support. Daily life proceeds in patterns both ancient and new. The timber-framed houses lean together companionably. The Thames flows eternally beneath its famous bridge. Smoke rises from countless chimneys. The city lives and breathes, vital and vigorous, full of opportunity and energy. If you enjoyed this AI reconstruction of historical London, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with friends who love history. Your support helps us create more immersive journeys into the past.